What's up, nerds? We are your hosts. I am Jake.
And I'm Chad.
This week, we are continuing our sponsor spot with Nordic Brewing here in Monticello, Minnesota.
And we're also sponsored, as always, by Crybaby Craig's Hot Sauce.
This week, we're going to be talking about Ahsoka, now streaming on Disney Plus.
And then we're also going to be talking about the live action One Piece, now streaming on Netflix, or at least the first couple episodes. So, let's get into it. This is the All Things Nerd Podcast. Nerd.
Welcome back to the All Things Nerd Podcast, your weekly dive into all things nerd. Chadenheimer. How was your week, Ben?
Oh, Chadenheimer. There we go. My week was good. Not super eventful, but I've been sleeping like crap for the past couple of weeks, so it was nice to not be busy. You and I hung out for a little bit at the start of this weekend to set up our new press for our now in-house merch printing and stuff like that, which was awesome. We hit a couple of tech snags, but we won't get into that. It was just more or less user error.
It's figured out now.
Not the quality of what they are. And then also we recorded session 2, aka episodes 3 and 4 of the new podcast, which will be launching sometime in November of ours for our D&D podcast called Kobolds in the Basement. That's really the only notable things that happened this week. Otherwise, it was work and hang out, make some food. Made some killer vegan brats earlier in the week. Those were delicious.
What was his name? Sorry. You can...
Not going to. I want everyone to know how you bully me. Because I don't bully you on camera, so everyone thinks I'll be the victim. It's great. But yeah.
Okay, Amber Heard.
No, she was recorded doing it. She's the worst.
Like a bratwurst. She's the bratwurst.
She's a bratwurst? A worst brat? I don't know.
We're hilarious.
We are. Super off topic. What about you? How was your week?
Week's been good. We are, very closely approaching. By the time this episode comes out, in fact, I will be a father.
Daddy?
We are having our baby on Tuesday, which is exciting and terrifying all at the same time. But I'm so excited. That definitely outweighs my fear. But holy shit, yeah, I'm gonna be a dad.
That guy's gonna be a dad.
Other than that, I made some bourbon peaches that I brought you last week, right? Yeah. When did I give those to you? Yeah. Oh yeah, my new toys. You can't really see that one that great because it's hanging on that wall. But I got a new bass guitar. I also got a new acoustic guitar because that one we'll talk about later is going to be an art piece and I won't play it. And we'll kind of go into that later in like a couple weeks. But this is my new one.
It looks pretty.
But yeah, it's hard to see. Both of them are at a side angle. I should have faced them out for this if we were going to talk about it, but I did not. So whatever. They're both pretty. This one is like untouched. That one's brand fucking new. So I'm pretty excited about it. Now I just need to get my drum set. It's happening.
It's happening.
It's happening.
For our listeners that like what we're doing and want to support us, the best way to do that is to head over to buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd. It's a monthly subscription. I know everything has a monthly subscription nowadays, but we give it back. You subscribe, and there's different levels to give at. You get some behind the scenes bonus content. Depending on the level, you even get an invite to be on the show,
Mm.
as well as member exclusive merch, early announcements, discount codes, things like that. So again, that's buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd. Uh, Speaking of new things that are in the works, I almost said coming, but then I expected Jake to do this thing. Yeah, is
You
we
call
are.
that Trump dancing?
uh, uh, we do have a new website in the works, as well as some new behind the scenes things that we're working on. That we are partnering with Marty over at Digiket Tech. So when that site launches, or if you're in the need of new website marketing, SEO, just digital strategies, reach out to Marty over at Digiket Tech. There is a link in our bio. He's the best,
Yeah, and you'll
and
be
he's a
able to
giant
see,
nerd.
and you'll be able, you will have him on the show soon because I want to talk to him about Ahsoka. Um, and you'll be able to see the quality of his work based on our website that goes up when it does launch, as Chad was saying. So, um, yeah.
It's gonna be great. What else is going on in Saturn news?
Well, the the writers' strike is still happening, which is canceling and pushing back release dates on everything that us nerds hold dear, unfortunately. Um, but rightfully so, pay them what they're worth. And they will have a link here so you can donate to help that out. Because a lot of actors and writers, and I mean, I think the actors are more, well, whatever.
They're
People are
just being a
losing their
little bit
job.
more vocal because they have
Yeah.
a more public face.
Yeah.
But
People are losing their jobs, their homes, their everything because of this. And, it sucks. People suck.
yeah.
Rich people suck.
Yes, they
Yeah.
do. So there's a link in the show notes to where you can donate to the basically union funds to
Hmm.
help them pay bills so that they don't lose their houses, that they don't starve, they can keep the lights on and stuff like that while they're fighting for just pay.
And keep in mind that, because I know some people are like, why would I donate to like actors and shit? Like, you're not donating to the actors, you're donating to writers and like people behind the scenes that don't make millions of dollars. Like,
And most of the movies, like when you think of a movie star or like a high paid celebrity that's a member of these unions, that's very much minority. I mean, fuck, it's even like it's gotten so far that it's affected a couple of my favorite podcasts. Because those are people that are members of the union because they do small TV work. They do,
mhm.
stuff like that. They have businesses that have to abide by the union, and then the production studios aren't willing to pay what the union is doing. This is why unions are good. It makes sure that gets people get paid what they're worth,
No, that
and
gets paid.
they
They
get
gets paid.
and gets paid living wages. It's especially with the advent of newer technology in the studio wanting to use AI, which
Hmm.
should never be used in this situation. It should.
Especially if like you haven't, like, never. I'm with you on I'm with them never. Like, fuck that. You know what I mean? But like, it is not that good. You know what
No,
I
it
mean?
looks terrible. AI should be used to enhance already like machine ability. Like
Hmm.
robots already on production lines,
Hmm.
or as like a personal assistant, like Siri or Alexa, or those things, to where it can help like an individual. It should not be used for mass production. It
Yeah.
shouldn't. I think it's super unethical,
I'm fine
and
with it
also the
like
quality
being
is
used.
terrible.
I'm fine with it being used for like de-aging someone in a movie, but like that actor or actress are still portraying that character and are just digitally being younger, dumbed down. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
or in the
I don't.
very least, like the actor still voicing that character and having a stand-in, and then using
Mm,
that technology to make it look real.
yeah,
But you
but
still
to
have
just
to
be like,
pay both those people
yeah,
decent wages for the work that they're doing.
exactly. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
But yeah,
Speaking of wild,
whoa,
come on, come on.
I
Not
want
that I
to,
take pride in.
I want
Not that
to,
I
I
take
want to
pride in
give
that.
you props for it because that was a great transition. But this is a real humanitarian tragedy. Um,
Yeah, no dabs.
recovery from the Lanai and Maui wildfires, is underway. So there's a link to the Red Cross, which is the fastest way to get resources out to people in need.
Mm.
Don't donate to the billionaires that are saying like, "Oh, donate so that we can help." It's like they spent so much money to protect their own assets instead of the people. Donate to like a humanitarian effort. There's a link to the
Absolutely.
Red Cross in our notes if you have some sort of beef with the Red Cross for whatever reason. I know they're not a perfect organization, but they get the funds out there quickly. There's also, tons of local uh, donation sites and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Give to those, not to the super wealthy that spent their own money to protect their shit. I'm looking at you, Oprah. I didn't get a car, and you said everybody gets a car. Okay? um, but yeah, check that out as well in our show notes. But let's talk about something a little bit
Maybe
happier,
we,
more exciting.
yeah,
It's
maybe in the future we place that somewhere else so that
it's
we're not
hard
like,
because it's depressing no matter what.
I
So
know,
my
I
my
know.
thought process is let's get the sadness over with and then get
Yeah,
back to the rest of the show.
right. Some exciting, maybe rumors at this point. I don't think there's anything set in stone. Um, Apparently, and I'm 110% for this. I'm sailing this 100%.
Mhm.
Uh, Josh Hartnett, potentially rumored to be playing Victor Von Doom in the Fantastic Four reboot. I love this. I love Josh Hartnett, and he's been having a little bit of a comeback lately, and I want this so bad. Please.
I do too. He's such a great actor, and back during his prime, he was underrated and just seen as the heartthrob. But
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
talented on top of just being a good-looking dude.
He
But
is a good looking
he
dude though.
was pushed into like the good-looking dude roles instead of
Yeah.
letting him do what he can do.
Yeah. And also, it's worth mentioning, he's a Minnesota boy.
Hell yeah.
So like, fuck yeah, man.
Duluth, right? Or St. Paul.
Was it Duluth? It was no, St. Paul.
Yeah.
St. Paul.
Sean William Scott's from Duluth, right?
Sean William, no, St. Cloud. Sean William Scott is St. Cloud. I
What?
think. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe it's Duluth.
I mean, both could be correct, but I love Josh
Yeah.
Hartnett.
I love Josh Hartnett. And I don't think even like when I was younger, he didn't do like like you were saying, like he did a lot of the heartthrob roles. He didn't do a ton of. He was in The Faculty, which I thought that movie kicked ass. Um, but he did, like you said, he did a lot of heartthrob shit, and then he came back with fucking 30 Days of Night, like one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Just fucking gory
Yeah.
as fuck. One of the best vampire movies you'll ever see. If you haven't seen it, fucking go watch it. But And recently he's been coming back with not that he ever like completely left, he was still doing some stuff.
Yeah, like
Um
more like indie films and stuff like
yeah,
that.
but I would love to see this dude back on the big screen. I love Josh Hartnett.
Yeah.
Please, please make this happen. And he's got like that deep, like menacing voice that like Victor Von Doom, like behind a mask. You know what I
I
mean? Like
mean,
he could totally pull that off.
yeah.
And he's tall. Like,
Oppenheimer, I mean, like, he
yeah.
has that, like, you don't know if you can trust it, but you want to trust it type of
Hmm.
voice. And then if, spoiler alert for those who haven't seen Oppenheimer, he kind of turns on Oppenheimer
Yeah,
uh,
he's a little bit of a dick.
when it becomes convenient for him.
Mm,
But he can definitely do that.
yeah.
Side note, Hartnett's from St. Paul, and Sean William Scott is from neither of the other places that we suggested. He's from Cottage Grove.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So basically,
Huh.
both of them are from St. Paul. Um,
I could have swore he was Sean William Scott was from St. Cloud. I mean, what do I fucking know? But whatever. Okay,
yeah.
cool.
I
I'll
thought
take
one of
that.
them were at least from central to northern Minnesota, but
I'm sure there's somebody famous from Minnesota that's from St. Cloud.
yeah, doubt it. I live there.
It's you. All Things
Oh,
Nerd podcast.
that's what it is. What?
Oh, that was dumb. Anyways, what's the other one? We got another big one.
There's
Mm.
no casting rumors behind it, but the rumor is that also with Josh Hartnett, who might be playing Harvey Dent in the Batman 2,
Dude, please, I want this
um,
dude to blow up.
is that we might get Dick Grayson in the Batman 2. Will it just be like a teaser, like leading into like the Batman 3?
Yeah.
Who
Will he
knows?
be Robin
Will
or
he
will
be
he just
Robin?
be Dick Grayson? Don't know.
Or I don't know, depending on how far they jump ahead, will he have already been Robin and now becoming Nightwing? I hope not,
Pro
because
No, I imagine because they're
that,
doing Brave and the Bold on the shittier side of DC.
yeah,
Sorry, my bad.
the
Uh,
James Gunn side,
yeah.
tomato
Uh,
potato.
yeah, the side of DC that doesn't make any fucking sense. Um, but
Ye-
Matt Reeves' Batman was amazing, and I want more of that. James Gunn can
James Gunn
suck a
should
butt.
take notes as to
Yeah,
how to proceed from that.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Oh, that made me crabby.
yeah, sorry, but talk about the next one with Walker
Yeah,
Scoble.
yeah. Well, we have again, these are all rumors right now. Nothing is set in stone, but Walker Scoble, the kid from the
Yes.
Adam Project, and now Percy Jackson, is rumored to play Kid Pool in Deadpool 3, which would be kind of a fun nod to the Adam Project, which was Ryan Reynolds and that kid playing a younger version of Ryan Reynolds. So this would be kind of
Who is
this
just
is
a
right up.
younger version of Ryan Reynolds in real life.
Yeah, I think this will be great. Great casting. Really fun cameo. I imagine it'll just be a
Yeah,
cameo.
a small bit.
Yeah. But what else? There's more.
Be fucking rad.
We got more.
We did get like a minor update about the rumors that they're rebooting Highlander with Henry Cavill as the Highlander. Um,
There can only be one,
I
and it's
didn't
Henry
get
Cavill.
the director's last name. It is Chad something. Not
Ugh,
me.
that's terrible.
I know. 1 out of 5 Chads are the worst. Uh, and 4 out of 5 aren't great. Um, it's a terrible name. Sorry, mom. Bad name. Um, but it was one of the John Wick directors that have done the past ones.
Nice. I mean, I'll
Is
Google it.
gonna be at the helm of the Highlander film with Henry Cavill. This is not a rumor. This is something that was actually announced.
Chad Staleski, no L, Stahelski. It's Stahelski. Something.
Maybe just Stelsky, who knows? Nordic languages are hard.
Oh,
Okay,
he's a stuntman and film director. But yeah, anyways.
that's rad. But yeah, he's going to be at the helm of the Highlander reboot, which who can be mad? Even though they're making another Highlander and there can only be one, but
I'm so happy that the one is Henry Cavill. It's literally modern day Witcher with dark hair instead of that
yeah,
silver. If they go that route, they might not. I don't know. But in Highlander in the original, I watched the movies, and there was a crappy TV series that I also watched back in the day, and I loved all of it. So I'm stoked about this. Plus, Henry Cavill is, so
mm-hmm.
sorry.
No, you're totally fine. I just didn't know how to transition into tell them about kind of a disappointing thing about the Marvels.
Well, I don't know if it's that disappointing. It just
It's a bummer.
depending on how they go about it. Uh, the Marvels runtime is an hour and 38 minutes, making it the shortest Marvel movie of all time. Which is
In the MCU because Venom
in
2
the
was only
MCU.
like 90
In,
minutes.
yeah, but that's pretty dumb because you're intertwining three different people's stories into one movie, and an hour and
A
38
half.
minutes is not enough time to really, in my opinion, tell that story. I don't know.
I
This
agree.
is kind of a
Unless
bummer.
they're
Yeah.
really banking on the built stories of each person from like the TV shows and
That could
previous.
be. It's just modern day movies. This isn't like, you know, a Disney. I mean, it's not like a cartoon Disney movie where it's just like a lot of dumb shit happens in a very short amount of time and there's a happy ending. Like the way Marvel has been doing things is a lot of storytelling, and this doesn't leave a lot of room for that, and that kind of bums me out a little bit because I
Yeah.
feel like it's going to be rushed and it's not going to be what I want it to be. I have high hopes for this movie. Fingers crossed it's still good. But I'm a little bummed out that there's not like at least, at the very least, another half hour tacked on.
Yeah.
I feel like a good movie these days, you need like 2.5 hours to really, really do
Yeah.
it.
With something like this where there's a lot of established past story, I think you could get away with 2 hours. If done right. I still think that an hour and 38, like, that just seems like it's going to
Yeah.
feel rushed or it's going to feel like it doesn't tell the full story.
You're an idiot. I didn't realize you put one of the titles we were joking about under the next.
No, that was what you told me it was. The
Dark Cold Diaries?
I thought that's what you said it was.
Dark Hold. The Dark Hold. The book.
Well, since we already transitioned into that, Agatha Coven of Chaos has reportedly been retitled and renamed to, I guess, Agatha the Dark Hold Diaries. But when
Oh,
Jake was
buddy.
telling me about that, I wrote down the Dark Cold Diaries. That's why I thought it was even.
I thought you were making a joke.
I thought I
like,
was just that dumb of a rename. That makes so much more sense.
That's amazing.
Wow.
That's so fucking funny.
Oh,
Oh my God. Oh,
pretty soon it's just gonna be called Bridget Jones and the Agatha Diaries.
no, it'll be Agatha and the Sisterhood of the or the Coven of the Traveling Pants.
Oh yeah.
Just kidding.
Agatha and
I'm excited for this
the
show.
Yaya Coven sisterhood.
We love
Catherine
shit,
Hahn.
Catherine Hahn.
Oh my god,
I
I
was thinking like
love Catherine Hahn.
I was thinking Steve Zahn. So I was gonna say Catherine Zahn, and I was like, that's not right. So I paused.
That's weird. I
Luckily,
don't
you
know
filled
how
in the
you
gap
got
there, right?
Steve Zahn from anything we've talked about.
Well, just
Um,
his last name,
oh,
Catherine Hahn, Steve Zahn. I don't know. They're similar, and I love Steve Zahn. Fuck
I
you.
do too. But
Okay.
there was nothing that we were talking about that directed us there.
No, just similar last names. That's all.
Yeah.
Um, but the
I'm
last thing we want to talk about. Oh, go ahead. Go
I'm
ahead.
just saying I'm still excited for the show despite me not
Yeah.
understanding the title rechange for the third time, and technically the fourth for me because I misheard what Jake was telling me. Uh,
I was like Dark Cold Diaries, and I was like trying to think like where
I
because
could
we
have played that off as just autocorrect, and I
off
didn't.
off camera, you and I made a bunch of jokes about different Agatha like renames
Yeah,
based
like
on like female like
Agatha
Sex
Harkness's
in the City
Diary.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
Coven in the
Ally
City.
McBeal or like some shit like that. We were just joking around about it, and so I thought that was one of them. So I was like, Cold Diaries. What is that one? And then I was like, no, hold on, he didn't. I was like, you dumbass. The Dark Hold, like the book. Oh, it's fucking
Makes so much more sense.
funny.
Oh, so much more sense.
Tell us about the last one here. Let's go.
The season finale of My Adventures with Superman
The
came out.
actual season finale.
Yeah, we corrected ourselves like midway through last episode because we thought it was the season finale. It was not, but the actual season finale aired, and it was the season finale. Should I say season finale? One more season
One
finale.
more time.
Cool.
Damn it. You beat me to it.
It was, this show has gotten so much better from the first couple of episodes.
I also can't believe it's already been 10 weeks since we started talking about that.
Well, didn't they put out the first two or three the first week? So
You're right. Yep. Still.
yeah, it's still been a couple of months, which is
Yeah.
wild.
But yeah,
The
oh my
show's
God,
really
it's
good.
so fun. They confirmed that the general, I think they confirmed it last week actually, it was that is
Unofficially, they just called him Sam, but now
Sam,
it
but
is
yeah.
officially Sam Lane.
Yeah. Um, it was a pretty fun episode for the most part. There is like a really cool, I love this about it, and this is something that I love that Smallville did really well with the cave wall and stuff like that, where Kryptonians don't speak English; they speak Kryptonian. So with
What?
In Smallville, in a lot of movies adaptations of aliens and shit like that, they just like magically know English, and it's super annoying. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and something that Smallville did really well, which I'll tie into this show in a second here, is that they did the cave wall, where Clark put the key in the cave wall and he got uploaded with the Kryptonian language, and then all of a sudden understood how to read it, all that shit. Uh, which is kind of this show is piggy. There's no cave wall, but there's this misinterpretation between Jor-El's hologram and Kal-El, aka Superman, aka Clark Kent.
Winnie the
Um,
Bish.
that Clark doesn't understand what he thinks he's been sent there as a weapon, and you can tell by the way Jor-El is trying to talk to Clark that that's not the case. And he's trying to express it to Clark, but he's speaking in Kryptonian and Clark doesn't understand Kryptonian. So he just blows it off. I thought that was really cool. In my Superman is the biggest thing I'll ever nerd about.
And
And
what I thought was really cool, sorry to cut you off,
no, you're fine.
is that in this interpretation, it's Jor-El's hologram, which is clearly running some form of, like machine learning, AI, learning
Mhm.
technology, is the one that learns English instead of
Clark
Superman,
learning. Yeah.
Kryptonian.
Kryptonian. Yeah.
Because as he's like talking to Kal-El and he's not understanding, Clark runs off, and Jor-El then says in English, "My son." Sorry, my thun. Um, I had to. Um, and then later, like he almost speaks. Jor-El almost speaks in like broken English, but still calls him
Hmm.
Kal-El. You are my son.
Yeah.
But it's almost like the thing that's developed to learn and adapt
Hmm.
is the thing that is picking up the language instead of letting Clark
The
do it,
other way around.
which I thought was an interesting take that still took on what you were saying about Smallville
It'll
about
what
how
yeah.
the languages don't
What'll
match, so they don't understand until something happens.
what'll inevitably happen in this show is that because so far that is the Fortress of Solitude. We saw it float. I know that's the Fortress of Solitude. I just know
But they
that already.
destroyed it.
Huh, I know, but trust me,
Okay.
that's what's gonna happen is that isn't gonna go anywhere. Like that technology, I don't know how they'll do it, but and Clark will eventually start learning from that and whatever. But the show is like went from the first couple episodes, I was like, I don't know about this show, to like I'm like really invested in this show now.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, it got really good really fast. Um, I think I said it a week or two ago that I thought I maybe even earlier than that I was convinced that Brainiac was behind everything because the technology that the bad guys were using in the show were
And the
too
bots.
yeah, were too advanced for Earth's technology. And I was right. They showed it in this episode, but Brainiac is working with somebody. Who is it, and how do we know?
Well, it doesn't actually say who it is, but it's kind of assumed that it's Zod. And the biggest thing is Brainiac is like, it's a rebellious planet, or a planet full of rebellion. He's like, that's okay. Because in the end, they will kneel. And the whole, you will kneel before Zod.
Yeah, that's his famous line is kneel before Zod. Yeah,
It was cool.
fantastic. I can't wait for season two. I also think it's worth mentioning again, I know we mentioned it already, that this is the only DC project that is not being run through James Gunn. And
Yeah.
I think that's fucking rad.
Yeah. Because it allows it to stand alone, first off.
Hmm.
And it's like a unique take. You don't have to worry about what's coming next because, as we've seen from DC, especially their connected universe attempts in the past, is it's very hit or miss, and
Hmm.
historically it's hit then miss, then hit then miss. So this show is awesome. So if you're not watching it, go over and even do the you can if you don't want to pay for like Max, HBO Max, whatever, do the 7-day trial. You can fly through 10, 25-minute episodes in a day or two,
Yeah.
depending on how much free time you have.
Realistically, if you just like got yourself a really good beer from a really good brewery and just sat down and watched this show, you could fly through this in no time. Speaking of a really good beer and a
Yeah,
really
if you
good
need
brewery,
suggestions.
we know one. It's called Nordic Brewing. They're here in Monticello, Minnesota. They're fucking amazing. We're doing this partner thing with them right now through the month of September. Um, if you go if you go there, drop our name, we bought you a beer already. It's just sitting there waiting for you to go claim it.
Hmm.
Go up there, tell them that you follow the All Things Nerd podcast. Uh, Prove to them that you follow the All Things Nerd podcast. Or
Whether
sorry,
it's
all there is no the. It's just All Things Nerd podcast. I'm
yeah,
sorry, I keep saying that. And we already bought you a beer. It's just sitting there waiting for you. And if you haven't, if you whatever, I'm brain farting. I'm dying.
yeah.
Strunk.
And if you don't, then
Thanks, Chad.
Subscribe,
Definitely like.
follow us. Follow us on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. Follow us on Instagram. Show them that you do it. There's a beer waiting for you.
Yep.
What's really cool too is they've got some awesome merch and stuff like that. Flannels, t-shirts, all that sort of thing. Also, they have a deal going right now where if you buy, I think, 3 crawlers, you get the 4th one for free.
Sweet.
I think that's it. Or it's you buy 4 and you get $10 off, which kind of equals to about the same. It's one of those two. I don't remember exactly what it was.
Well,
We're currently out of our
we got to go
crawlers
back up there.
because we drank them all. But their berry wheat is pretty good. I was not expecting to enjoy it as much as I did because I don't like really fruity or wheat beers.
Yeah. No.
But they also have like the Dank Wagon, which is an IPA. That's my favorite of theirs.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
It's so
but
good.
also look forward to, we've been talking to, nothing is set up quite yet, but we've been talking to the owner of Nordic Brewing on doing an All Things Nerd trivia night up there. And so, stay tuned. We'll keep you guys we'll keep you friends involved. And we'll let you know when that's going to happen. We would love to see all of your beautiful faces up there and see how good your nerd knowledge really is.
Plus,
we'll
also
be
they've
giving
got
out
really good food.
Yeah, they have great food, great beer, great hosts. And we'll give out awesome prizes. I mean, we'll give out some of our shit. We'll maybe pay some tabs or send you with some crawlers or something like that. We'll figure it out later, but listen up. Going forward, and we'll keep you guys in the know. Okay, friends, we are going to talk about Ahsoka, now streaming on Disney Plus, episode 3. Take it away, Chad.
So spoiler.
This is your wheelhouse.
So
spoiler alert. Yeah.
If you haven't watched it yet, tune out, tune back in. And if you're not sure about the show, and I don't know, you might have like a couple of weeks of like paternity leave coming up, go and watch Rebels. It'll make you enjoy the show a lot more.
I don't think it actually will.
It will.
The Rebels might be really good, and I'm excited to watch it.
It's fantastic.
But I don't think it's going to make up for the discrepancies that I'm seeing in this show. And I'm not saying that this show is bad. I'm just saying 3 episodes in so far, I am not hooked. And you can make the argument, and we'll talk about it later. You can make the argument that, like, oh, if you didn't watch Rebels, like, blah, blah, blah. But, like, I watched 1 episode of the other show we're going to talk about in a little bit, One Piece. And I would watch that first episode of that show 3 times in a row before I would watch the first 3 episodes of this show. And I don't know shit about One Piece. So just throwing that out there.
Well,
and I love Star Wars. I'm just saying,
and
this
also,
particular show is not gripping me.
My argument for that is you didn't have to watch the anime based on the manga of One Piece to enjoy the live action. Obviously, being a Star Wars fan, you're going to get some enjoyment out of Ahsoka, but it's kind of like hopping in and watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier, not watching any previous MCU projects.
And I'm happy to be that person. I actually makes like a good argument for this show is that I'm going to watch Rebels and while I'm watching this show, and if it doesn't make this show better, you better believe I'm going to fucking tell you about it.
Well, you're at least going to appreciate the characters more. I don't know about the storytelling. So
you admit it, that the storytelling is not great.
For a Dave Filoni project, I think it's a weaker thing. But I'm loving it because of Rebels. And I will fully admit that. Because I loved that show. And I love how big of a Star Wars nerd and fan and how much creative control Dave Filoni has had, taking from the books, especially involving Thrawn, that aren't technically canon, but he's finding a way to make them canon. Um, I'm enjoying it thoroughly.
Like I said, I don't think the show is bad, nor am I not enjoying it at all. I just, in comparison to, it's just not gripping me.
Yeah.
It's not like pulling me in. Like I watch it and I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good, I guess, you know. But I
Hmm.
watched again, I won't talk about it too much, but I watched the first episode of One Piece and I was like, bam, mind
Yeah.
blown. This show is kicks ass.
Yeah.
I'm stoked about this show, and it has continuously been good throughout. As where Ahsoka has not even really engaged me at all.
I will give you that, especially even more so because you haven't watched Rebels. I'm loving it for the Easter eggs. I mean, we get to see Spectre 7, aka Jason, aka General Syndulla, Hera Syndulla's son. And he's grown up a little bit. Because at the end of Rebels, he's not really there. Um, Spoiler alert.
We said it at the beginning, so
Well, that
if
was
you're
more
still
for that was
listening,
more for you.
oh, okay. I'll be all right.
But it's just I'm loving the Easter eggs probably more than the actual show.
Hmm.
If I'm being honest. But there were some moments, more so like later when there's a little bit of like a dogfight with
Hmm.
the single pilot fighters chasing Ahsoka's ship. They're fighting. That felt like more prequel Star Wars, but I enjoyed it. It was I really I can't sugarcoat. I'm loving this
Don't
show.
Please don't. I
Um,
like having objective, like
yeah.
outsider kind of, because I love Star Wars too, but I like it's not my thing, and Star Wars is like your fucking thing,
Star Wars is
you know?
what
So
made
like,
me a nerd. So
yeah.
yeah, I have a couple of frame. You can't really see them because of the way my office is set up. If you're watching us on YouTube, but I have, the first. Well, you can see it back here. The first uh, book that Boba Fett has a solo comic. I have another Star Wars comic framed, as well as action figures and Boba Fett Slave 1 on the wall, as well as a Funko Pop or two on my walls.
James Earl Jones under
Yeah,
your ukulele over there.
yeah, signed autobiography by James Earl Jones. It's all
Wait,
that.
you that's actually signed by him?
Hmm.
Whose
I
dick did you suck to get that?
I paid for it at a silent auction.
Oh, that's right. You don't have the thing though that
Yeah,
says
there's
it's
no certificate of authenticity. I will have to get that appraised, but if it's not authentic, I'm gonna be mad because I spent a lot of money, especially for like 19-year-old Chad.
Oh no. I have faith. It's real.
I think it is. I hope it is.
But
Ah,
like you said, there's a really cool like dogfight in this episode. There's like a little bit of ridiculousness in every episode so far. Um, that being Ahsoka like on the wing of the ship, like taking out starfighters with her lightsaber. A
yeah.
little wild, a little wild, but
I think the only
also,
reason why that scene happened was to make it make sense as to in the sequels when Leia gets like blasted out of the command room and uses the Force to like bring herself back into the
mm,
ship to
yeah,
give that sort of credibility. I think that's the only reason why this scene exists. But it's
uh,
also wild because she like goes out like in a spacesuit, but she has like that weird tendril, so she has like a custom made space helmet.
I thought it was really weird how fast she came back in. like after like she comes back in the hatch, right?
Yeah,
As and then she's just like runs
back in the
into the
cockpit.
and she's like not dressed
She
and you
she's
know, and
still
it's just
wearing the
like
spacesuit, but the helmet's off.
yeah.
But like the way that
Same.
her like head tendrils are, like that's got to be a little bit of a.
You know,
It's like
can she move? Can she move those things?
well, they're like fleshy, so it's
Can
kind of.
she move? Can she move them?
I don't know if she can move them on command, but it's like hair that's been lightly gelled,
Hmm.
so it has a little bit of give. It's not hair, obviously,
Be a
but
lot hotter if she could move them on command.
mm,
It's kind of like whatever. I'm done. Sorry.
it would give
Anyways,
you like a prostate
kind of.
check, you know.
I was gonna say like the split tongue kind of thing.
Yeah,
I'm into it.
if you
Okay.
know, you know. And if you know and you're our mothers, we're sorry.
If you know and you're a mother's, I'm freaked out.
Like, I would want to have questions, but I will never ask them, sort of thing.
Never.
I don't want to know.
Have you ever played what's that? Cards Against Humanity with your mom?
No.
I have, and it was a terrible experience.
See, I learned early on, I played it with my ex in laws, and I was like, some of their answers I was like, nope, don't want to be a part of this. And then other times, my answers, they looked at me like I was the devil, and I was like, never again. We're not doing this
Yeah,
more. Cool.
yeah, yeah. Don't do it. Don't
You'll
do
learn
it.
stuff you don't want to know.
And they'll learn stuff that they don't want to know. Because
And
I
you
don't
don't
hold
want
back
them
in
to
that
know
game.
either.
Yeah, I don't hold back in that game. Fuck that.
No.
Say you wanted to play this? Let's go.
Yeah.
You're about to learn today.
Yeet.
Helen Keller card every time wins everything. Doesn't matter.
Earlier, we got way off traffic, way off topic. This episode was slower.
Yeah, it was fun though.
But
It was
what was
good.
really cool is you get to see live action Purgle, the space whales, um,
Mm.
which play a much bigger part in Rebels. But they're also you see like during the credit sequence at the end of the episodes, you see like cave drying versions of them.
And don't we see them in
You see like
Mandalorian?
shadows of them while they're going through hyperspace because
Yeah,
these are beings
yeah.
that can naturally travel at
Mm.
hyperspace speeds, which is cool.
Yeah,
Um, I think that the reason that we saw them in season 3 of Mandalorian was to kind of tease for Ahsoka,
yeah.
because supposedly everything that happened in the Mandalorian up until the Ahsoka series, like that's chronologically accurate.
And then correct me if I'm wrong on this. The in this episode we learn what we know that Thrawn is that's the end goal for the bad guys is that they want to get Thrawn out of
Yeah.
where he's been exiled to. But because they are speculating that Thrawn is alive, Sabine is convinced that fuck, what's his name?
Ezra.
Ezra is alive too.
Well, Sabine, Ahsoka, Hera, all the people that were bigger parts in the Rebels series all assume that that means that Ezra's alive too.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like their motives are to stop Thrawn from coming back, but also find Ezra,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Which is the very handsome Indian man that we talked about last week.
Yep, and I forgot to write down his name. Um,
Find it in 2 seconds.
it's
The
really
internet's crazy, man.
it's really unfair how attractive this man is. Um,
Yeah,
It's not the same person
leave some
that
for the rest of us, bro.
it's not the same person that voiced Ezra in the show, but
Iman Esfandi.
yeah,
I might have said that wrong.
he looks like Ezra so much.
Yeah,
Absolutely
fuck you, dude.
fantastic though.
His
Um,
eyebrows, his hair, his skin tone.
it's like spot on.
Uh, he's a very good looking guy, and like, come on, man.
Hmm.
There's other guys out here too. I mean, I'm very happily taken, but I feel for the rest of you.
Thanks. Uh, but this episode is awesome, and it kind of ends on a cliffhanger because I don't remember the name of the planet, but in the credit sequence, because someone went through and like translated the runes because it's an established like Star Wars language, that they end on as they use the Purgle to escape, the Emperor Loyalist, Shin Hati, Marak, and even Morgan Elsbeth at this point in time.
Of the planet is called Corellia. I
Corellia.
think I said that. It's Corellia.
Okay. Um, but we already saw this planet when Shin Hati and Ray Stevenson's character, which I'm blanking on his character's name. Um,
Jesus Christ.
sorry, brought the star map basically to Morgan Elsbeth, and that's the planet that they're on,
Balin's skull.
Balin's Skull. Um, and there's also a rumor that Balin Skull was Qui-Gon Jinn's apprentice before Obi-Wan
Ooh.
because of his mannerisms and the way that he like walks and talks and everything like that. But obviously he's not necessarily evil. He's not like a Sith, but he's not a true pure Jedi.
He's like a self-motivated
Yeah,
character.
which makes also sense because there were rumors and also like in some of the books and stuff like that that described Qui-Gon Jinn, uh, Liam Neeson's character from the prequels, the first prequel, um, as a gray Jedi,
Yeah.
basically following like the Jedi code of ethics, but also looking out for oneself.
Mm.
And we kind of see that. And also, they don't have red lightsabers. Skull and Hati don't, because to have a red lightsaber, you have to corrupt the kyber crystal. It's a whole lot. We won't get into that right now. Um, but so they're like self-interested neutral parties.
Mm.
Like they're getting paid, they're getting power out of it, but they don't have a true allegiance, which is
This is
making it
what we
really
need
interesting.
Marty on the show for, so you guys can
Yeah,
bounce off each other, not just physically, but like mentally about this.
if he's down. Um,
He's gonna watch this.
and just like
That's the
that,
that's the only reason I said that, because he's gonna watch this and be like, "You
and
dick."
just like that, we're no longer working with him.
Oh, fucking A. Um, that's it.
Go watch the show. Whether you're a casual Star Wars fan, a big Star Wars fan that hasn't watched Rebels, but if you have watched Rebels, definitely go watch this show. There's a lot of Easter eggs and fun, like nods to the show because it's kind of a continuation. It's not kind of, it's a continuation. Let's be honest. Um, with that being said, haha.
What's that?
Our other sponsor.
We're gonna go into sponsor number two. Sponsor number two is Crybaby Crate. You didn't change it on here. That's why I did it. That's your fault.
I know, That's why I also paused. It's
There you
Crybaby
go.
Craig's hot sauce. It's a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes on practically anything. And Jake, if people want to learn more, what should they do?
Wait, what?
Listen
You
up. Okay,
paused.
cool.
You paused. I'm sorry. You
Oh.
like froze for a second. What'd you say?
If you want to learn more about Crybaby Craig's, listen up. We'll tell you more about it. Hey, you nerds. Do you love spice? Supporting small businesses? What about enhancing the flavor of your favorite foods? If you said yes to any of those, our good friends over at Crybaby Craig's have the perfect solution for you. Crybaby Craig's is a pickled habanero and garlic hot sauce that goes perfectly with your favorite foods, adding the perfect amount of spice and enhancing the flavor of everything it touches. Started in Minneapolis by Craig back in 2012, Crybaby Craig's has become a Minneapolis and Minnesota staple in the sauce world. So head over to crybabycraigs.com and order yours today. Okay, friends, now we want to talk about just the first few episodes of the live action One Piece, now streaming on Netflix. We don't want to get into the entire season, even though one of
We'll just
us
talk about the.
may or may not have watched a lot of it. And
Only
surprisingly,
like
it's not
half of it.
me.
Only like half of it. I'm obsessed with it. The show is so good. I am through episode 5, but we'll only talk about episode 1 and 2. Do you think is fair, or do you want to do
We
1, 2, or
can
3?
touch on 3 because that's where I'm at. I didn't
Okay.
want to watch further ahead because when it came out, you're like, we watched the first 3 episodes. I was like, okay, I have to get through the first 3. And then I was like, if I keep watching, it might fuck up what I reference in the podcast.
All right.
This show, first off, is incredible. And spoiler alert. So,
Yeah.
if you
Going
haven't
on.
started watching it, this is your warning. That's been enough time.
Go watch it, and then
Yeah,
also,
please go watch it.
this is my favorite show on TV right now.
It's so good. Before we get into talking about the actual show, I want to talk just briefly about like toxic fandom. Because this has been a very weird thing.
You blew up on me about this. Not on me, but you
Like I
expressed
vented
your-
to you about
Yeah,
it.
and I was like, wow, he's fired up.
Yeah, it makes such little sense. You know, we can all agree that season 3 of The Witcher was hot garbage. And even season 2 really started to deviate from a lot of the source material, and people were complaining about that. And then now with like Ahsoka and some of the Star Wars shows and the MCU and the James Gunn DC, I don't know what to call it yet.
Mm.
You know, fans are like, oh, source material. There's so much for you to go on. Why don't you go on that? Or why are you making changes to that? And then One Piece comes out. And now fans are complaining that it's too close to the source material. It's like, this is just gatekeeping at that point in time.
It's just people that want to complain about something, so they complain about something.
Yeah.
Like,
But don't use the scapegoat of source material and then
Yeah.
change why the amount of source material used is the issue.
yeah,
If you want to complain, just complain and
Yeah.
keep your gatekeeping toxic bullshit, but acknowledge that that's what it is.
and stay toxic, kings. You know, like,
Yeah. I mean,
and queens.
more about like making bad decisions under the influence that does not involve driving
It's a
or
slight
operating
inside-
heavy.
It's an inside joke between Chad and I that when we drink more than we should, and
Yeah.
we're like, and we acknowledge that we're drinking more than we should, we say, "Stay toxic, king," and then keep drinking.
Yeah. It's like starting a fight with your significant other just to see how it plays out.
Never done it.
It. I, I may have. We're not going to get into that though.
How many
Um,
times have you been married?
yeah, twice. Am I still married? No. Uh, huzzah. Um,
Love you.
I just match. I match energy. Okay, that's what
Oh
I do.
boy, you're one of those.
Uh, yeah,
Do you
it's a
also
problem.
see auras in people?
No, but if someone's being
Oh.
toxic, I'm like, okay, bet. I bet you I can outdo this. And then I
I'm just
do. And then
I'm
they're
just
like,
kidding.
we shouldn't be married anymore. I'm like, oh, fuck. But if that's
Way
how you're
off
going to
track.
react,
We're way
sure.
off track. Way off track.
Um,
Way off track.
yeah, way off track. And you're trying to reel me in. Thank you. Um, don't, like, don't complain about one thing and then when you get what you want, complain about it.
Yeah. So fuck you, people that do that. But
Also,
let's
this
talk
is a
about the
cool way
magnificent.
of getting this content.
Let's talk about how amazing this show. Not the fans. The fans apparently suck. But let's talk about how
Some,
amazing this
yeah,
show actually is.
absolutely incredible.
It's so fucking good. As I said earlier, I watched one episode and I texted Chad immediately and I was like, this show's better than Ahsoka. And I've only seen one episode.
I was like 10 minutes into the episode and I responded and I was like, yeah.
It's
And
so
that
good.
that hurts me as like a big Star Wars fan, a big Rebels fan, like loving the Ahsoka show. This is better.
Way better. I mean, Luffy, the kid who plays Luffy, his name is Inyaki Godoy. He plays Monkey D. Luffy. And he I said it to you off camera. I was like, this kid looks like a Hispanic Tom Holland. And you were like, oh, you're so right. Like,
Yeah.
he just looks like Tom Holland. He's just got darker features. It's crazy.
And the casting across the board is
Mm,
incredible.
yeah.
And I love that even though it's live action, they didn't lose like the campiness of like an anime based show, like over the top,
Yes.
because this came
We've
from a
seen
manga.
yeah. Sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
you keep going. I was just
I
saying,
was we've seen anime movies like Dragon Ball Z just be piles of shit. And this show does
forget about
not
that fucking
take
movie.
away from I didn't watch the show. I watched a little bit of it after this live action show came out. I was like, okay, I gotta like check this out because this is amazing and I want to see like is it like this in the cartoon? And it fucking is. It's so crazy how like dorky and fun and eccentric the characters are. It's amazing. I
And
am
Luffy constantly shoveling food into his mouth, and
Oh my God, yeah. It's so fun. Yeah, the food. My God, the fighting is like it's really like fun and coordinated, unlike in Ahsoka. Um, but like it's so sorry.
it's fine.
The
That was just to hurt me.
the yeah, it was a little bit, but also true. Um, Emily Rudd, I mean her character Nami, super fun. She looks a little bit like Misty from um Pokemon in my opinion.
I think it's the hair, because
Definitely it's
I
obviously the hair.
obviously the hair. Oh, what was I just gonna say about her character? I if it comes up, I'll remember. Um, Also, Emily Rudd, no relation to Paul Rudd. Because I saw the name and I was like, oh, they're not related. Um, uh, McKenyo, I don't know
Is
if I
it
said that right.
McKenyu or
McKenyu,
McKenyu?
McKenyu, who plays Zorro. Fucking gold mine of a casting for this character.
Easily my favorite character so far.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
more than Buggy? You've watched a couple more episodes than I have. Because
Buggy is fucking hilarious, and I can't wait to see more of Buggy. but we really only get that one episode so far.
Yeah, Jeff Ward playing the clown
Clown
uh,
Pirate.
clown pirate.
Yeah.
What's awesome is so Luffy has like stretching abilities because he ate the gum
There's a
devil fruit.
there's a fruit, and different fruits give people different powers, but the powers come with a price. Oh, I don't know because I didn't watch the show. I don't know what that price is yet,
I'm
but
sure we'll see in the
yeah,
live action too,
but there are multiple people who have eaten the gum fruit or whatever.
or just the devil fruit.
The devil fruit,
Um,
sorry. Luffy ate the gum fruit, which
yeah,
gives him the stretchy ability. But there are multiple people who also have powers because they've eaten the devil fruit.
like
Um,
Buggy who ate the
yeah, the
chop
shop.
chop
Yeah.
devil fruit,
Hmm.
and he can like
Decapitate himself.
yeah, like
Yeah.
Luffy punches his head off and then he like reassembles and he's like, "Wah,
Yeah.
gotcha, bitch."
Buggy, assemble! Yeah!
This show
Oh,
is so fucking good.
mm.
Plus, oh, where's his name here? I mean, just every casting is fantastic.
You got to get, man. Oh, it makes me mad that you haven't watched as much as I have. They go
Normally, it's the other
into
way around.
the backstory of Zoro and why he has a third sword, and
Is it heartbreaking? Because it kind of seems like it was like,
it's sad. But I don't want to fucking go into it too much. It I think I have a theory because where you are right now, you've met Kaya,
yes,
so you've met the butler, right? The
yes,
creepy butler. I think he killed the
the person that he got
Zoro's
this sword from was it sister? Because
nope,
they kind of like allude to
just his
it.
friend.
Oh,
It was
friend.
just his friend. But because he says he's only ever, you'll see. He says he's only ever had one friend, but she's dead. And
That's right. Because
I think that guy killed her because there is an episode where you haven't seen yet where we'll talk about it next week. You know what? I'm just gonna leave it there.
that's fair. Also, we've been like before this show came out, we were ranting and raving about the TV show Warrior. And what's wild is that who plays Axe Hand Morgan is Langley Kirkwood, who also plays Buckley in Warrior, and they are opposite characters.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
I never would have guessed until you told me that that's who it was,
And then
and
you
then
couldn't not see it.
I couldn't unhear it.
Uh,
I could unsee it for sure. He looks nothing like he does in Warrior, but you
but
can't unhear it. He
his
sounds
chin,
exactly the same.
his like metal chin strap that covers his
Yeah.
mouth.
He's
Suddenly,
got
I started seeing that
bleach.
as a beard, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I see
And he's
it.
got bleach blonde hair. Like you would
I
not
think he's blonde
know.
naturally.
Is he? That's fucking wild. That means they
Well,
dye
he's
his beard red for
yeah, he's like
Warrior.
dirty blonde naturally.
That's
It's
hilarious.
fucking wild. He was also in Dread, the
Oh, the
remake.
Carl Urban one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
This
I
show
mean,
is so fucking good.
what do we even say about the show? Like, without like ruining everything for you guys, it's so fun. It's basically this kid, Luffy, who wants to become the king of the pirates, and the only way you can do that is by finding a certain treasure called the
The
One
One
Piece.
Piece.
Hence the name of the show. Um, and so he's on this journey to do that, and along the way, he's picking up crew members
Mm-hmm.
for because he wants to be a pirate, and he sets out alone basically, and he's picking up one person at a time, almost in every episode. Uh, you'll see. Uh, he picks up a new crew member, um, and gets a ship. And fuck, god damn it, this show is so good. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin more because I'm going into like season or episode 4 and 5 here. Just go fucking watch it. If you don't like it, I will refund nothing because you didn't give us anything. Uh,
I'm I'm loving this show. And I know I'm a few episodes behind, but this and neither of us have watched the original anime. I plan on doing that or starting it, but there's
it's just
like
like
a
24
thousand
seasons.
episodes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah,
lot.
the anime came out in 1999 and has been running
Yeah.
since.
And I was too busy partying in 1999 to watch
Yeah.
it. So
I started partying after that, but I partied like it was 1999.
thank you. I appreciate you. I see you and I appreciate you.
Thank you. Namaste. It's not an
Now I'm gonna
appropriate time
stay.
to say namaste.
Now I'm gonna stay.
Sorry, that gets into one of I remembered my two other honorable mentions that we'll get into here in a second.
Seriously, this is the only show that I've been watching right now that I can very happily binge watch. I urge you to watch this fucking show. Because if people don't watch it and it gets a horrible rating and they don't do a season 2, I will blame all of you. Because we just told you how good it was.
It's fantastic. If this doesn't continue on, I'm gonna be mad, but then I'll just watch the anime instead. But I'm gonna be very upset because the live action is so fucking good.
Yeah. Gum, gum. Oh, you haven't got that far. God damn it.
Punch. Yeah, he does that. And
Oh, he does a gum gum bell. And he just
oh,
like
I haven't seen
fucking
the Gum Gum Bell.
he
Uh,
headbutts somebody
he
and I was
does
like, dude,
one against.
gum gum kick.
I haven't seen the kick either, but
Ah.
Gum Smash. I think when he
Oh yeah. He
ex-
Hulk smashed. Yeah.
but it's against Buggy.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the first time he does Gum Punch in the first episode, and everyone
Mhm.
just looks at him and is like, "What?" Every great pirate calls out his finishing move, and they're like, "I don't think so."
Yeah, it gets really intense. You're gonna really I can't wait for you
I'm
to
gonna
watch.
watch more of it tonight.
I was like, I
I'm
can't
gonna
wait for you to catch up. Because I'm gonna talk to you tomorrow, and if you haven't watched more of this show by tomorrow, I'm gonna come there and put my foot in your ass if you say and then again. And then and then.
uh, I've used that meme a couple of times, and once was at work this past week. It was great.
Seriously, go watch this fucking show. Oh, that's who that guy is. Milton Shore, Score. He's the guy with the big mouth that you were talking about. The bowl
No,
cut.
that's Aiden Scott, who
Who the fuck
plays
is this guy?
Helmeppo, who plays the. He's like the son of Axe Hand.
Who's Krieg? This is bothering me the shit out of me. Tell him that joke you know.
Uh, there once was a man in Peru who dreamt he was eating a shoe.
Milton. Don Krieg.
I don't know.
There's no picture of him. Maybe he hasn't been introduced yet. Anyways, I'm done. I'm sorry. Let's close out this episode. We've gone way over what I meant to.
Also, when he said that the person that I was talking about that has a huge mouth, that's not like meant to be in a mean way. Just Helmeppo, Aiden Scott's character, is very animated, and he just has larger lips.
Does he not remind you of oh God. Oh God. Michael Fassbender.
A little, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't unsee it.
Now I'm gonna try really hard not to see it because I didn't make that connection while I was watching.
Yeah.
So, thanks.
Thanks.
Uh,
Okay. Fucking A. Close
yeah,
out the episode,
yeah.
Chad.
Let's go ahead and do that.
Before we close out this episode, we're going to talk about our honorable mentions. Chad, what do you have?
I actually have a few. I started throughout this episode. I remembered a couple of them. I watched all of the original,
Hmm.
like late '80s, before the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight Batman
Tim
films.
Burton.
Yeah, so Tim Burton, Joe Schumacher. I watched all those because I saw that The Flash was now out to stream, and I was like, instead of watching that, how about if I want to see Michael Keaton as Batman, let's watch those. And I was like, let's just keep this shit rolling.
You know what's cool about those, the Tim Burton ones, is that before there was Hans Zimmer doing the Batman soundtracks or whatever you want to call it, scores, Prince did all of the music for the first two Tim Burton Batman movies.
Oh, I thought it was just Batman Returns. I didn't
He
know that he
no,
did the first one too. Because Danny Elfman was credited also for like the thematic stuff.
really. Oh, he probably did like the. Okay, let me take that back. He he probably did like the scores and stuff, but Prince was the
The
guy.
actual like
Yeah,
music
yeah,
that played.
it was so good. I
I
mean,
guess I
it
didn't notice
wasn't,
that in the
but
first one, but well, Prince is great if you like Minnesota and drugs. So it was fantastic. um and then yeah, they just like progressively got worse and worse. Um but after watching Batman and Robin last night,
oh no, don't say it was good.
no, it wasn't. But I didn't hate George Clooney. I just hated the movie and the writing.
Nobody hates George Clooney.
Well, I didn't hate him as Bruce Wayne.
Oh,
Is what I meant by that.
bitch.
But
I liked Kilmer.
I did too, but now I understand the meme of like Batman smiling where it's Kilmer. It made me feel uncomfortable while I watched it in the movie.
I think I don't know how to. I don't know. I loved the Val Kilmer Batman Forever. Correct.
Yeah.
I loved that movie. Nicole Kidman, Jim Carrey as the Riddler, fucking like Tommy Lee Jones as
It's
Harvey Dent.
Yeah, it had been so long since I've seen that, and so many articles have come out where Tommy Lee Jones was like, "Yeah, I hated doing that." Jim Carrey was obnoxious; he was always up in my space.
That's
And
what
then
Jim Carrey does.
yeah, and then rewatching, I was like, "You were over the top too. Like,
Yeah.
you were probably acting over the top." And Jim Carrey's like, "Okay, bet."
I think whatever. I I loved. I think that might have been until Batman Begins. That might have been the last good Batman movie. Again, like you were just saying, not to discredit George Clooney or his acting capabilities, but the movies were
Yeah, they were just
God.
so poorly written. What was funny was I didn't remember this, um, but in Batman Forever, when they get to like Enigma Tech, you know,
Hmm.
and Chris O'Donnell goes, "Holy rusted metal, Batman," and Val Kilmer goes, "What?" Like I just like laughed my ass off, and then they explain like in a meta way. He's like, "No, like these rocks aren't rocks, they're rusted metal and there's a bunch of holes in them, so it's holy. Like, they tried too hard and it was just fucking hilarious.
Yeah. If those of you who are not old as fuck like us, uh,
Huzzah!
that is from the old school Batman TV series in the 70s with Adam West and not Burt Reynolds, uh, Burt Ward, sorry, and who plays Robin. And Robin would famously say, "Holy macaroni, Batman," or "Holy whatever, Batman," and that's where the term comes from. So it's very funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, what else you got? Sorry,
And then
I got excited.
on your recommendation, I gave Get 'Em to the Greek a second chance. Fucking hilarious.
Huzzah! Gotcha, bitch.
So good. And then on a more like serious note, I also watched the HBO Max Fahrenheit 451 with Michael B. Jordan and Michael
I remember
Shannon.
you saying that. Yeah. I remember you telling me that you did that, and
It really, because this movie came out like several years ago, but I think it hits harder now because so much of it is based on AI and how they kept the running theme from the 1953 novel of the same name, that fascism is bad.
oh, so you just mean 1953 realism?
Yeah. At that point in time, that was much more prevalent. And then, I don't know, a certain political party that likes to use an elephant, which is weird because elephants don't forget. But
Yeah.
then they're like, fascism, Nazis, they're okay. There's good guys on both sides. It's like, you're
It's
wrong.
so insulting. I've said it on this show before, and I'll say it again. My grandfather on my mom's side of the family fought in World War II. He's passed away now, and he would fucking roll in his grave if he knew that Americans were endorsing fucking Nazis or that Nazis in general were here in general. Like,
Yeah.
fucking you want to be like, "Oh, America." Like, that's what America fought against, and now you guys are endorsing that. Like, fucking get bent.
Yeah, it's so not great, Cotton. Cheer us all up, Jake. What are your honorable mentions? I should not have
We-
ended on Fahrenheit 451. I'm sorry.
So, no, it's my fault. I got a little triggered there. I got
Rightfully so.
We went and saw Barbie over the weekend.
Come on, Barbie, let's
Uh,
go party.
It was good.
It's so good.
It was good. There was some stuff I don't want to talk about it on here, but it was really good. 99.99% of me loved it. I will hands down watch it again. There were a couple dumb things that aren't really worth mentioning. That kind of I was whatever, but the casting was great. Ryan Gosling looks like fucking Tommy
Johnny.
Lawrence. Johnny. God damn it, I did it again. He looks like Johnny Lawrence from Cobra Kai. It's so fucking funny. And I really loved that there was a Barbie for everyone in this movie. There was, and I don't want to whatever word it wrong, but there was plus size Barbie. There was
Multiple people of color Barbies.
Dylan Mulvaney Barbie, which is, trans. Like,
Yeah.
it was fantastic.
And-
I fucking loved it.
On that note, I do just want to like give a huge thumbs up, despite the writers and actors strike that's going on. That is something that Hollywood has been doing right and being very inclusive. It's been way too slow of progress, but just including trans actors, fantastic. I mean, Dylan Mulvaney as a Barbie, incredible, and she was like not
Gorgeous.
just like in the background, Gorgeous,
I was gonna say
hilarious.
very pretty.
Uh,
Yeah.
one of the main Barbies, not just like a
If
background Barbie.
if Republicans hadn't gone out of their way to point out that Dylan was
You would have never
trans,
known.
I would not have known. Like,
I didn't know when I watched it, and then read about it, and I was like, Dylan Mulvaney's in this? Who is she? And I was like, that's like one of the main Barbies.
yeah,
It was incredible. And also, along those notes, because we just talked about One Piece, Morgan Davies, who plays Kobe,
yeah.
Kobe, um, in the show, is also a trans actor.
Which you may have heard us talk about before, but we only just put the pieces together
Yeah.
today that it was the same fucking person. But in Evil Dead Rise, Morgan plays the blonde-haired. I don't want. Is it trans?
I don't
I don't
know
want to
if
say the wrong
I think in
thing.
the show that they're just non, or in the
Binary,
show, but like in that
the
movie,
movie.
I think they play a
Yeah,
non-binary
they don't really
character.
say, but yeah.
Yeah,
Morgan, same person. Uh, is in that movie, which blows my mind because we did not know until literally I clicked on I have the cast list up on my screen over here, and I clicked on Morgan's IMDb or whatever, and I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, that's the person from Evil Dead Rise. And we talked about it
and it's not
when
like
we talked about Evil Dead Rise.
they
Like
it's not like they look any different. It's just it's such a drastically different role that they just
yeah,
like. It's not like from when that movie came out from when One Piece came out. It's only been a
yeah,
couple of months. And so they must have been filming kind of close to the
relatively
same
close. Yeah.
time. So it's not like,
The haircut seems the same, just different color
yeah,
and like straightened in one
it was
piece.
just really cool to put those pieces together. And I think that's one thing that Hollywood is doing right moving forward is giving trans actors the opportunity to play not even trans characters, because sometimes it seems like too on the nose, but like with Barbie, Dylan Mulvaney, or in One Piece, Morgan Davies playing Kobe, like that's not a part of
A
their character.
gender specific
Yeah, like that's not a part
role.
of their
Yeah.
characters being trans. It's just
Yeah.
their identity, so they're getting cast in those roles, and that's fucking incredible to see.
Yeah. Now, if
And
only we
and
could just
rightfully
get them to
so.
pay them the
Yeah.
right amount. Yeah.
You hear that, studios, from this super famous, super viral podcast of ours? Do better. It that
And
seems
with that
very
being said,
campy and jokey, but we do mean that. Pay actors what they're worth. Doesn't matter orientation, but it is cool to see trans actors getting recognition not just for trans roles,
yeah.
but roles that align with their identity. That's awesome. I would have never guessed. Even with Morgan Davies. And like I already mentioned about Dylan Mulvaney, like I didn't know because that was not on my mind. It
It's
was
it's
just,
funny because like when we saw Evil Dead Rise, before you told me that Morgan was trans, I thought Morgan was a girl. And
huh,
then watching uh One Piece, Morgan plays a boy. So
huh.
to your point, it's nice to see that trans people are just getting roles not based on their gender, and I think
Yeah,
that's really cool. Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry we went off on a rant on that. Um, but it's just cool to see, and rightfully so.
Balls are out.
If you like what we're doing here, please like, share, and subscribe to our podcast. If you want to support us, The best way to do that is to do through our buymeacoffee.com. It's buymeacoffee.com/allthingsnerd. It's a great way to support the podcast on a monthly basis. You get a bunch of bonuses, member exclusive merch, behind the scenes, everything like that. First announcements to new merch as we start to do that ourselves now, and so much more. If you don't want to give on a monthly basis, what do I always say, Jake?
Give us your money.
Well, yeah, also give us your money. Please. If you don't want to give on a monthly basis, you can head over to allthingsnerdpodcast.com and buy something from our merch store. So you still get something out of it.
Give us your money.
For your money. But yeah, still give us your money, please.
If you like what we're doing, give us your money.
Yeah, we don't make anything. We have
We would like
our
to.
number of unpaid interns, and that's a loose term of interns because some of them do more than what we do. But the number of unpaid staff that we have has outnumbered us, and
Including us.
Yeah, we don't make money.
We don't even pay ourselves. And before we pay ourselves,
the rest
we
of
would
our
like
staff
to
is
pay
going to
other
get paid
people.
first.
Yeah.
But if not, just like, share, subscribe. It's a great way to spread the word. 5-star ratings wherever you get your podcast really helps. You know, giving the thumbs up and subscribing to our YouTube channel, all that stuff. It
Click the
helps.
link in my bio. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But also at the same time, click the link in our bio. It gives you links to the Buy Me a Coffee, to our web store, to other places you can find us. It helps. We don't make money on this. We don't want to make money on it, but we would like to pay the people that are helping.
Someday it would be cool to profit off of it.
I guess that's a lie. We would like to make money on this, but that's not a priority.
We got to pay other people first.
Yeah. So on that note, we love you. This has been the All Things Nerd Podcast.